Okay, so what I did was I started my toaster oven up about an hour or two ago so it would stabilize. I wanted to make sure it's not going to be too hot or too cold. And this cactus juice will cure at between 180 and 200 degrees. If it gets above boiling, and if there's any moisture in your pen blank, I'm imagining that the moisture could boil and force the cactus juice out, so you don't want that to happen. But I don't think there is any moisture in there, or very little. It was under vacuum yesterday, the way you saw it at the end of episode number 1, for about up to almost 3 hours. I kind of forgot about it. I really didn't need to leave it in that long. I found that this wood, if you can call it wood, is different from any other wood that I've done the cactus juice process on before. Now, how is it different? Well, it seemed that the air that was inside there came out really fast. I didn't have to do a lot of bleeding to let the pressure, or the vacuum rather, off so that it didn't overflow in the little tray. Probably within about 2 minutes the bubbles started going down, and after about half an hour I was surprised. The bubbling was only like after maybe 2 or 3 hours with an ordinary piece of wood. So in other words, one of two things is either happening. Either all the air came out very quickly and got it over with, or there's a lot of air in there that just plain won't come out. But I think the first is the most probable. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the tray out of here and try not to make a big mess, and then wrap them up. Well, you're going to see what I'm going to do. Now, I did overfill this last night, so I'm probably going to end up spilling it. Oh, not too bad. Now you're going to notice that these blanks are not floating. They just go right to the bottom. I want to do this rather quickly to try and keep the cactus juice from flowing out of the end grain. Now, this is just my theory, but my theory is this cactus juice will not hurt your skin. I know when I first started using it, I was being very careful not to get any on my skin. And then I couldn't read anywhere where it was either corrosive or poisonous. Well, it probably is. I don't think you'd want to drink a glass of it, but I think it's probably no more harmful than getting antifreeze on your skin. And as I mentioned before, it feels a lot like antifreeze. But obviously it isn't, because antifreeze won't solidify when it's heated up. So, okay, now we'll get it on a tray. And my homemade timer here. I just set it for 12 o'clock. Keep an eye on it. When it gets down to around 1:30, I know it's time to take them out. Now I know I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again because it's a very important feature of this stuff is that you pour back what you don't use. And in case you're interested, I keep it in the fridge. And to clean it up, I just bring it here into the reading room and soapy water, that's all I need. Well, it's just over an hour and a half now. Now, sometimes I need this and sometimes I don't. In other words, sometimes the tin foil comes off easy and sometimes it doesn't. Well, it looks good to me. Looking good. Now I thought that some of you might like to see it really close up, so here we go. Now if you look close, you're going to see that the cactus juice is in some of the cracks. That is where it didn't get pulled out by the tin foil. And on the inside of the blank, I believe that every void is filled. Now this Napoleon kit calls for a 27/64 inch bit. Now I don't know if you saw the video that I did on this pen blank vise about 2 months ago, but this vise has a little bit of play in it, and if I put that little block in there, wedge it into place, it takes out the slack. Now I guess you can see I accidentally had the tripod of the camera touching the drill press when I was taking this shot. Sorry about that. Now I don't know if you noticed, but the sawdust that was, or the shavings that was coming out of there was very granulated, and it sounded like drilling through sugar or ice. I know I've mentioned that before, but you really notice that when you're drilling through a blank that's been permeated with the cactus juice. good fit.